decision to unleash everything great in your life. Would you do it? Would you say yes? Aren't you tired of your relationships, your health, and so much more suffering because you lack the truth you need to change? The life you desire is within your reach. You can achieve all the success, happiness, and prosperity you deserve by simply learning the secrets that lead to real personal transformation. Change is hard, but not impossible. You just have to make one radical decision to get real. And there's no better authority on the real steps to change than David G. Evans.
Some men trust in chariots. Some men trust in horses. But we will trust in the Lord.
David G. Evans is leading the charge to bring you the power to change your life. He is committed to the mission of helping you transform and become a person of power, and it starts with his all-new system to change your situation. At the centerpiece of this life-altering collection is David Evans' groundbreaking training course. From ridiculous to radical to real, this means war. In this series, you will discover the steps to change. This series includes 2 powerful messages, each on winning the battle in your mind and cultivating a language of faith. That's 4 messages, 4 power-filled hours of material. If you want a better marriage, this series has the answers. If you want to achieve financial independence God's way, the secrets in this series will empower you to make it happen. If you want a life of power, anointing, and influence, this series will show you how to get it, and there's more. You're looking for serious, immediate results. So Bishop Evans will also include one of his best-selling messages called Weapon of Warfare. This classic teaching will build you up to start fighting in the spirit for what you deserve. This powerhouse collection, from ridiculous to radical to real, and Weapon of Warfare, will give you all the biblical strategies you need to change anything in your life. This collection will ship to you immediately with your gift today to David G. Evans Ministries. This ministry is revolutionizing the kingdom by empowering believers. Souls are being saved daily, and we need your help to grow this impact in a real way. Call now and sow your seed of just $35 for your transformation to help people around the world. Your $35 love gift goes straight to the front lines of ministry, providing help to those that need it most. Call now. Make the decision to get the power you need to change your life forever.
Adversaries come in many forms, but you will be victorious when you realize that worship is warfare.
Adversaries are necessary because without them, you never really discover your purpose.
We've accepted what somebody told us we were in our past. So our past is sabotaging our ability to hear instruction.
We are not much unlike a battery. The negative is the thing that's needed to produce the power.
I empowered you to overcome everything you've overcome up to this present moment. I fixed you for what's going to happen after this. You were in the mind of God long before you were ever born.
You are not alone in your battle. God has your back because worship is warfare. Put these 4 messages in your arsenal today on CD or DVD. Equip yourself by visiting our website or by calling 1-800-591-8480.
Well, praise the Lord. Welcome to On Point, the #1 Saturday morning Christian-based call-in talk show in America, live every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on any smart device at David G. Evans 1. David G. Evans, the #1. We're excited about today, but more excited about the fact that you are joining us, and we're going to have another one of those powerful conversations that we like to have regarding culture and religion, politics, sports, major current events, but always from a kingdom, a biblical perspective. That's what On Point is all about, bringing the events of the day, those happenings of the day, bringing them to biblical relevance, so that you understand that you can approach any part of your life from a kingdom perspective. You can give us a call today, 866-743-8267. That's 866-743-8267, 866-74-EVANS. Give us a call. Of course, Pastor Nick Smith is here with us today. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Good Sunday. Good Saturday.
Yeah. I want to take time to once again help thank everybody for your back to school participation. Able to help over 1,000 children this time, and our lead time wasn't that great, but we were able to service several different communities, and we could not have done it without your help and without your prayers and your financial assistance and your going shopping and whatever you did to help us make the beginning of the school year a good start for children throughout the region. We say thank you once again. Today, there's a couple of things going on, Pastor Nick, that I need to. So the president was in Philadelphia, and he makes a speech, and for the first time he finally comes out and says some stuff is wrong. Now, his colleagues on the other side of the aisle do this as a matter of regularity and their regular political day.
All the time.
So now that he finally says, and I didn't think he was offensive. I thought he was just telling the truth. You can't say you love law and order, but you think January 6th was okay. I don't think that's an outrageous statement.
Right.
But now, those who have succumbed to the demagoguery of our previous president are saying that Biden, because he brought those things up, is talking like a dictator. That's crazy.
Absolutely crazy. And reframing the look, make it look darker.
Yeah.
I mean, like, he hasn't said anything any worse than what our previous president
Well,
said.
no,
I mean,
no. But, he's not supposed to say anything. They actually like him better if he does not address them.
Yes.
But what happened is I didn't see the major voices in the Republican Party come out and say anything.
Right.
The minor voices, who most of us, I didn't even know who some of the guys were that were saying what they were saying. But, in this context that we're in, and I've always felt as though that the Democrats and the independents were too soft, that they need to address things. They need to stand up and say what they need to say. And I think it was a young woman out of Michigan, maybe, that started clapping back at them. And it was refreshing.
Yeah.
And I think Democrats ought to stop using words like "you ought to be ashamed." They're not.
They're not ashamed.
Come on, man.
They're not ashamed.
Come on, stop. It's like a cartoon I saw when I was watching with the kids, and the bad guys. The good guy asked the bad guy, "Why do you do this?" And the bad guy said, "'Cause it's wrong.
Right.
Don't you get it?"
Right.
I just. What do you think?
No, I mean, I didn't watch the whole speech. But from what I read, it was no worse than he's just basically telling what's going on.
It wasn't even close.
This is what's happening.
It wasn't even close.
It's not good for our country.
Yeah.
And don't miss me with that whole unity talk. When
you can't talk about unity.
Right. You can't even talk about unity unless you address what's going on.
Yeah.
They want to ignore it and act like it ain't happening.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden we're united. No,
Absolutely. No.
It can't happen.
No, he's supposed to be Now, all the negativity that happened in the previous years, he has one speech and all of a sudden he's against the unity of the country. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Not at all. He's supposed to be united. They don't want to be united.
No, they don't.
Yeah, I mean, and it's different if he didn't label all Republicans.
But I never heard them say that about the previous president.
Oh, no.
That he wasn't unifying, and
No,
they said he was.
He's unifier. He's a liberator.
Well, he was liberating what he called a segment that was his supporters.
Right.
And he was unifying his supporters,
right.
But he wasn't unifying the country.
Yeah, not at all.
No.
In their minds, he was. He's the greatest thing.
Yeah, but, I think the president has an obligation to speak the truth about things that occur in the country that he's running. I think that's a leader's obligation.
Yeah. Well, they got on Obama for that. And his whole thing is we can't fix if we're not willing to address what's going on.
Well, but they don't want to address it. But they don't want to address it.
Right. But then excuse Trump's inauguration speech. was full of the word America's blight. It's going downhill, and they were all and it's the worst. Him saying that.
You didn't hear any flack from that speech.
That inauguration speech felt like doomsday.
Well, he was being prophetic. It was. It was.
The country's the worst it's ever been, and
So now, you usually know more about this person than I do. So Supreme Court Judge Thomas's wife actually was calling people trying to get the election reversed.
Yes.
So what is CT going to do now?
Nothing. He is fine. They ain't gonna do nothing.
But it doesn't.
This whole time he hasn't said. He probably agrees with her.
If it was a democratically appointed justice, wouldn't this be controversial?
Yes, it would be.
Wouldn't their hair be on fire?
Mm-hmm. With that one side.
Yeah.
Now the Democrats are coming out against. Well, of course, they've been coming out against him since.
Okay.
He's been in office, been in position. Excuse me, and then coming after her, but. We'll see what happens with this.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to call my friends in in New Orleans, and ask them, is there any way we can assist the people in Mississippi? Because it bothers me that we're in the richest nation in the world, probably technologically and capability-wise. The best there is when we want to be.
Yep.
And we have citizens and this flood just exacerbated the water problem. This flood didn't start the water problem. So they've been complaining about this. Now, here's my problem. If you've got leadership at the Senate and congressional level in a state, how does your state have a water issue?
Right. And the governor, of course, he has a certain system to make sure his place is running, while they feverishly work towards everybody else's. But Mississippi is known one of the poorest states. Excuse me.
Yeah.
A high population of African Americans.
Right.
Reminds me of Flint.
Okay.
There isn't that rush to.
But they have Republican leadership there, right?
Yes. There's no rush to get a lot done.
Okay.
The kids have to go back to virtual learning because they can't go to school.
Well, of course
there's no
they
water
can't.
there. It's.
They told them to take showers, just don't let any water get in your mouth. That's
right.
But why would you want that on your skin?
Right. Exactly. Why would you got to go back to boiling the water
And I'm not sure that'll do it. You got to boil it a long time for that to work. Yeah, right. you got to really boil it. And I think when they're probably going to use some of the Army methods when they're out in the bush and the water's contaminated. They use a cap full of bleach and a gallon of water to chlorinate the water.
Yeah.
They say it kills all the bacteria in there, hopefully. But this is not a living context, a daily living context that I believe American citizens ought to go through.
Yeah.
Water? That's fundamental.
Right. But again, infrastructure. I was reading something that where broken water and sewer pipes are common in the state.
Common?
Common in Mississippi, Mississippi's largest state.
Okay.
That they're unwilling to, again, go in there and fix this stuff.
Now, the capital is Jackson, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And the capital city is having this issue?
Yes.
I know I ask silly questions sometimes. Why? What are the politicians doing?
Too busy.
All of them, both sides of the aisle. What are the politicians doing to protect the basic health of their people?
Nothing, just fighting amongst each other on things that are, like, you'll go to war over abortion, but won't go to war over this and call it pro-life. Call yourself pro-life.
It doesn't make any sense.
Somebody said the EPA told them last month that their water system violated the Federal Safe Drinking Water Act.
Okay.
And from what it looks like, they did nothing about.
It makes me wonder what the disease rate.
Yeah, it's going to be.
In what has it been since they've had this problem a while? Just like Flint had the problem. What's the disease rate in Mississippi related to water that they've been saying is not related to water?
Yeah. Well, we're probably going to see the same stuff with Flint. So I'm reading something there that says that Jackson is 80% black.
80%.
80% black. The suburbs around Jackson were generally white, of course.
Okay.
More prosperous and have newer infrastructure. So they built all the infrastructure outside of the city and basically left the city alone. Yeah.
Okay. That's so obvious.
Yeah.
So I've got to ask myself, so what are the minority politicians? Are they jumping and screaming about this, or this is the way it is in Jackson?
Yeah. I think they are. I know Jackson has a Democratic mayor.
Yeah, but he can't do nothing.
The Democratic mayor and the Republican governor very rarely speak. You have the biggest city in your state, and you have no real connection with, for whatever reason. I can't speak for both sides, but
Yeah, I overheard on the TV yesterday, or the day before, maybe it was yesterday, they had a press conference, and the governor and the mayor didn't talk to each other.
Yeah, didn't talk.
And didn't stand near each other.
Yeah. Now, mind you, the people of health should be more important at that moment than your personal issue.
Absolutely.
Work it out.
Absolutely.
Outside of this.
But perhaps the governor doesn't care about Jackson because of its demographics. Oh man,
Yep.
this can't happen in our country. So the Arbery thing is panning out. The Breonna Taylor thing is panning out, and those people that have angst about this and are of course everybody's glad to see justice done. But I don't think the activism relating to these types of incidences can stop because 2 guilty verdicts have been brought in.
Yeah. I mean, when the people you're supposed to trust,
Yeah.
like your law enforcement, your politicians and stuff, are proving to do things,
For their own interests.
yes,
Yes.
and finding ways to get people. You can understand why there's a mistrust. Put it that way.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
what we've been saying. The stuff that's now on camera has been happening.
Absolutely.
It just was no cameras.
There was no cameras. There were no cameras
No camera.
available there, and some things could be isolated to certain cities, towns, regions, villages because there was no social media.
Yep.
But it's almost impossible now you got to be a person of focus, really. But everything's national now.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And so they should have never been in her house in the first place. With the cop that did the false affidavit.
Yeah, fooled the judge.
And like, come on.
But it goes to show you, in that case with Breonna Taylor, obviously this type of procedure, that wasn't a one-time thing.
Yep.
You know, if she felt comfortable going to a judge and misrepresenting the warrant, and just taking her word for it, and then I guess maybe I'm a little naive. I wonder why it took so long for this part of it to come out.
Yeah.
Because I don't think this is new information. I think
No.
they've had this information.
No, they had it. Just like the lady in the Albury case when they came out later on that she hid. I
Yeah.
can't remember the lady I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Hid most of that information about the case.
So now I'm aware of, switching subjects for a moment, I'm aware of judges who sent people to jail basically for money.
Yeah.
And I know Pennsylvania, I believe, had a big problem with that.
Yep.
Yeah. And I understand that in that area, prisons were either refurbished or expanded or built from the ground up to accommodate this flow. But they made $200 million sending kids to jail,
Well, they got to pay $200 million to the victims.
which means
Now,
they probably made
some
more
money.
than that.
They made some money. I can't remember. I found the number.
If they had to pay $200 million, that's restitution. That's not replacement.
Yeah.
So I wonder how much money they really made over the years. So it paid for them to convict people, to put them
Yep.
in the prison
Yeah,
system.
the prison system was paying them.
Yeah, so they could get paid for sending kids to jail.
Yep. And you basically partially ruined somebody's life.
Wow.
Here's the crazy thing. Well, the one judge,
Mm-hmm.
he got $2.8 million in illegal payments to do this. Yeah. And to kids, like,
Yeah, man. When I read the story, I think it was pre-COVID. And I read when I first became familiar with this information, I was really shocked. And I'm like, how long do you do this? But the thing that offended me about the story the most was the insensitivity to human life, the not caring enough to put kids in prison simply so you could buy another loaf of bread. It doesn't make sense to me.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, you were sending 8-year-olds. 8.
To reform school.
Yeah, to a type of, for a petty theft, jaywalking, truancy, locking them up 8 years old.
They didn't care.
And I think the video I saw years ago,
Yeah.
it was, of course, a lot of minorities.
Yeah.
But there were also a lot of white kids they sent to kids.
Oh, I know they did.
It was both.
No, they sent everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody was a dollar sign to them.
Yeah.
866-743-8267. 866-743-8267. Lights, our lines are beginning to light up. Tom from Florida is on. Robin is from Delaware is on. You can join us today. We'd love to hear from you. And also you can comment on our social media platform. We're on Facebook today.
Yes.
What site is that, Pastor Nate?
Both sites, Bethany and your site.
Okay, Bethany at BBC of NJ, and then let me say that slower, at BBC of NJ. Also, David G. Evans 1. We'd love to see your comments today. Love to respond to them. Tom's on, Robin's on. I'm sure some other people are getting ready, and we'll go to them in just a moment. Now, so health issue. Long COVID is responsible for around a third of unfulfilled jobs.
Yep. Yeah. Because people just they're not strong.
They're not
enough to go back
recovering.
to work.
They're not recovering.
Yeah. When did?
A lady I watch on TV, Mara Gay, she had COVID. I mean, it was devastating to her. And it has to be 2 years, and she's finally starting to look like herself again.
Yeah.
I mean, when she was coming on camera, like within 6-10 months after COVID, she still looked like she was very ill.
Yeah. Yeah. That long COVID is and it's a variety of things. If your heart issues, brain fog, tiredness,
And in the midst of a surge, the CDC, who I believe has just basically abdicated their responsibilities, relaxed the quarantine recommendations. So you want people to go back out into the population, still infectious, because you've decided that 3 to 5 days is enough.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
It is. And school systems in Jersey and PA, I mean, I just found this out. Some people probably knew.
Okay.
Where they just told the schools now, some schools, districts, if a child has COVID, he or she can still come to school. They just have to wear a mask.
That's stupid.
They don't have to quarantine anymore.
You can't trust
stay home.
You can't trust the school. You can't trust it.
Yeah. They can still come and.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
So they give it to the rest of their class. Because here's the deal. The difference between being in a closed classroom setting and being outdoors is astronomical.
Yep.
You cannot sit in a classroom, and these schools have not spent millions of dollars per school to get these ventilation systems up to a place where they would be kind of safe.
Yep.
So you got kids sitting in the same room, breathing the same air. The mask is supposed to help prevent, not you just step into a darn viral kennel and say, I'm going to be okay.
Right. We're only one kid wearing a mask and there's 30 other kids
Come
in the
on,
classroom.
Man, come
it's
on.
not going to work.
CDC has sold us out.
Yeah. You're basically on your own now.
You better use some common sense.
That's what they're basically saying. You make your own decisions and you're on your own. And
you better use some common sense.
Yeah.
And you should not be hesitant. Someone comes to your house to do some work, or someone comes in your office and they're unmasked, you should not be hesitant. Because it's not just to tell them, look, do you have a mask? And have some spares there for them. Here, take this. So you can't be hesitant about identifying the risk factors, but you also have to be wary that someone coming in to do business could possibly be sick, and you take that to your family or take that to your friend. Or give it to your other coworkers.
Yeah. I had a guy come. He's like, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah, I'm serious. Put your mask on when you go to my house." And I didn't care. I was like, "Look, sorry."
How do you assume you can come in my house unmasked and then ask me, "Am I serious?"
Right.
Especially if you answer the door with a mask on.
Right. Exactly. I know.
crazy.
They still, it's not that big of a deal. It's just this and that. Like, I'm like, okay.
Okay, you know what I tell people? You know what I do for a living? Yeah. Okay. You know how many family members our members have had to bury in the last couple of years? And you're saying it's not that big a deal? It's not that big a deal to you.
Right. Yep.
Okay. Well, I don't have one. Ah, here you go.
Here you go. Right. Put this one on.
Here you go. Give me that excuse.
Yeah. It's insane.
Don't be in there grunting and sweating for 2 hours.
Right.
And then you come on, man.
Right.
Let's go to Tom. Good morning, Tom. How you doing?
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing, Pastor
Hey,
Nick?
Tom.
Bishop, you were talking about Mississippi earlier.
Yeah.
The mayor of that town, Jackson River, seemed to be pretty sharp.
Okay.
But last night he was on, and he's got another concern now because they're sending these new pumps in, and he thinks it's going to break the system. He said the system is so worn out and so old. He thinks when they turn the pressure back up, it's going to blow the place apart.
I guess some of its civic engineers perhaps are telling him this.
He said he's been whining about this since he's been mayor, and he's talking like it's not $2 or $3 million worth of stuff. He's talking $200 or $300 million.
I'm sure.
To redo this thing.
One of the things that I've noticed, Tom, and I'm sure you have too, and Pastor Nick also, I'm always amazed at people who can make decisions that are to their advantage but disregard the people that their decision impacts. That always has amazed me.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and in politics, we see this a lot. I got a problem with the mayor. I got a problem with the politician across the town. So I'm going to make the thousands of people suffer that are supporters of yours just so I can make a point. It's egregious to me. It's offensive.
I think you just described what's going on in Congress and the Senate right now.
Yeah.
There are people that will not pass bills just so you won't get it. So I could say, your guy did not give you what you want, even though I'm the one blocking it.
And the other thing, like it was like with the veterans that had been infected by being around the tar pits and those pits where they burned a lot of trash and other stuff. And you had a whole lot of guys that came out no. And then when the protest started, a few of them migrated back over to yes. Not because they were concerned about the people, but because of the political flack they were getting. They were getting trolled all over the place. I just learned the definition of that.
Troll.
Yeah, I just learned the definition of that this morning. I looked it up. So they were as we say, they were getting dragged everywhere. You know.
Yeah.
So
That just happened with the comedian who
yeah, man,
was down in D.C. Arguing about they would not pass this bill. As soon as he starts
Jon Stewart.
trolling,
yeah.
they passed the bill.
And what blows my mind is their initial concern was not for the people who they were impacting with the bill they would not pass.
Yeah.
And the only reason they backed up was not because their mind changed about the veterans, but because they didn't like the publicity they were getting. And a politician's top three emphasis, his top three things that are most important to get reelected, get reelected, get reelected. Everything else doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm just...
Hey, Bishop, going with something not funny, but funny.
Mm-hmm.
Down here in Florida, your favorite place.
Yeah.
The governor, about a week or two ago, said, he's going to send all these people up to Delaware, all these illegal aliens. They're going to Delaware.
Is that where he's going to send them?
Well, because that's where the president's from. The only problem was they're Cuban. So they had to come out with an apology.
Oh, my.
And say, oh, no, we're not sending them to Delaware. We're going to take care of that internally. So it was a big deal down here. So all of a sudden, it wasn't Haitian, it wasn't Guatemalan, but once it was Cuban.
Yes, sir. That's a problem in Florida. That's a problem.
Oh, yeah, you don't touch it. So the politics of who you want here and who you don't want here. I mean, they had to come in and recant what he said. Like they didn't go to Delaware.
Well, from what I understand, a large part of the Cuban population in Florida are Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they are.
Yep.
And you know what? Myself being here, I can remember when Trump was running, Trump was in Miami on a consistent basis.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see any Democrats really pushing the issue. They are right-wing Republicans, and Republicans cater to them.
Well, they appear to cater to him. Yeah.
Let me stand corrected.
Yeah. Yeah, they appear to, because every now and then attitudinal things will emerge, and people need to listen to those attitudinal statements. The guy said what he meant. It just wasn't advantageous to him, so he had to double back on the statement. But the Bible says, out of the abundance of your heart, your mouth speaks. What's overflowing in your heart, your mouth will reveal. Plain and simple. So how you been doing down there, man? So I understand your governor may have some competition for this next election.
Well, yeah, I think Charlie Crist is going to it's going up against him pretty hard.
Really?
And Marco Rubio, the Cuban senator, he is running neck and neck with this young lady, Val Demings.
Val Demings, I understand she's doing very well.
Matter of fact, she's they call it neck and neck, but she's actually up in the polls by 2%.
Yeah, and she's former law enforcement too.
Yes, something like 25 years as chief of police.
Yeah, chief of
Orlando.
police. Yeah. So she knows.
And I'm telling you, locally the ads they're running, they're good. They're right on point. I'm going to give them that.
Well, Rubio's a little. He's been saying things to me. He's been saying things in my perception that just are whacked for a long time. It's almost like he's not dwelling in reality to me.
And she's got on the commercials. She is pushing it. And she's pushing his issues with Social Security, his issues with abortion. Every issue that he's got, she's got a way. She's hooking it pretty well.
I wonder how many seniors, and I know a lot of seniors are in Florida. I wonder how many seniors would remain Republicans if they read the Republicans' agenda as it relates to Social Security and Medicaid and Medicare, and they're calling those things kind of handouts and entitlements and things. They have negative connotations. I wonder how many would stay that way if they understood they're trying to wipe out Social Security, all those things that they think that even though they work for it their whole life, they think it's okay to take it.
That's one thing Demings is doing. In her commercials, she keeps going after seniors. He is taking this from you.
Yeah.
And she's really hitting him hard, I think, with the seniors more than anything.
Well,
even more than the Cubans.
When you read their agenda and you see that Social Security is on the table to be taken, that they don't care about lower pharmaceutical costs. It's horrible that some of the benefits that people work for their whole lives, they think are entitlements. But when you're wealthy, you're not concerned about that. But the constituency isn't wealthy. The seniors aren't wealthy people down there. They went there because they thought they would get a better life. Their money would stretch further. They could have a more comfortable retirement. But it's puzzling to me that I guess maybe they won't read it because they don't want to know what it's really saying. But if you're talking about wiping out people's Social Security and you think that's some kind of gimme, then you obviously don't have a regular job. And our politicians don't have regular jobs.
No.
As a matter of fact, they're vested for life.
Yeah, so, I know. What kind of setup is that?
That's. And I don't know how long you have to be a congressman, but it's not long.
Yeah, I know.
To get that permanent retirement.
I know very rarely do they come out of office broke. They come out millionaires. Mm-hmm. So there's a system. Yeah. There's a system at work. Tom, we got to go, man. Thanks for calling us today.
Hey, great. You guys have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye. Yeah. Let's go to Robin. Hey, Robin from Delaware.
Good morning, Bishop.
How you doing?
How are y'all doing this morning?
What's that I hear in your voice? You got a cold or something?
I'm just tired.
Okay.
Just working.
Good.
I know, but I'm still just a little tired.
Keep you out of trouble.
I don't have a cold. just a little.
Remember, tired people rule the world.
Woo! I won't be ruling the world. But Bishop, first I want to say thank you so much for starting the Rhythm series.
Are you getting it?
Bishop, I'm watching it over and over, and when I'm in the car now, or like you said, when that question I asked, I'm engaged live, now I start saying to myself, okay, Robin, the rhythm,
yeah,
stay in the rhythm.
Yeah.
But it's really, really helping me,
okay,
and I'm just thankful that you started this series
I appreciate
at the right time, because I have goals I want to reach by December 31st. And to reach them, I have to stay in the rhythm.
Absolutely.
I have to stay focused and just stay with God. But Pastor Nick, I know you always, keep up with the news. You too, Bishop. And when I have like downtime, I kind of, try to catch up. But first, thank y'all for the OnPointe last week.
Yeah.
All the callers that called in regarding the student loan. That was a great OnPointe.
I'm glad you liked it.
I mean, the callers that called in was really a lot of good information. And I'm just thankful that President Biden is doing this. I know they're trying to fight him on this, but I believe it's going to go through, and everybody that needs, this break will get it. But I was reading something regarding millions in stolen COVID relief, that the Secret Service recovered over 286 million in stolen COVID relief funds that were supposed to go to businesses.
I believe it.
That's why they're going out there. They're getting everybody.
Yeah, they're getting them.
They're going after them.
Yeah, they're going after them.
250 fled to other countries, but they got some of them, and this is still ongoing. How were they able to get away with, to even steal that kind of money?
Fake corporations, fake business entities, employee records fabricated, make the application, took advantage of the fact that the country was kind of in a rush to get this aid to people, so the process wasn't as stringent as it would be in other times. The approval process was a little lax, a little relaxed. So there were a lot of factors that opportunists took an opportunity, and they got some good money.
$2.3 billion.
Most of them use this place called Green Dot Bank.
Green Dot Bank. What is that?
Right. Yep.
I never heard before. 15,000 accounts at Green Dot Bank. It's an online institution.
Okay.
In Texas. They use debit cards to get it. Now, the Green Dot notified the Secret Service when they discovered the suspicious accounts.
Okay.
Now, I've never worked at a bank before.
I have.
But if a group of people are opening 15,000 accounts within, I don't know, within a short period in time.
15,000.
15,000. Now, Bank of America, the real big ones, you could probably
they can get 15,000 in a day.
But these online institutions or these smaller ones,
okay,
I doubt they're getting 15,000 in like a 2-month span.
So the Green something bank, they got the money. They got the COVID money.
Well, the money, they set up the accounts there, so the money came to Green Dot.
Okay.
For the accounts,
okay,
and people siphon the money that way. Now, I don't know if there's a way that Green Dot gets paid for every account they open up, or
if you're an online bank, I would assume that your the rules for your banking would be consistent with a stand-alone, sit-on-a-corner bank, but there may be some loopholes or processing weaknesses that they got paid. They found, but they got 200 million. Now, most of the money went through this Green thing, man.
Yeah, most of what they discovered went through that one.
Oh yeah,
so I don't know if they got
in Walmart.
So those
open up a debit card, Green Dot card.
Really?
I see them in the store.
I never heard of them before.
I never heard of them.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them. But this is my last question. I've been wanting to ask you. Do you? Y'all make me laugh. Do you think we will ever have a Black Wall Street again, like the one in Tulsa? Do you think we ever have one again?
I don't know if the system would let that happen again. No. Do you, Pastor Nick?
No. I think what made Tulsa work, and every other one, because Tulsa's not the only one,
right,
was actually segregation. You put all the black people together, they can't shop anywhere else. So they all shop in one place.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes this mega center.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to agree with the person. I'm not for segregation. I'm
No.
not saying segregation
No.
is right.
No.
But segregation kept the black dollar
In the community.
thus making people prosperous.
Right.
And then here's the issue. I'll say this. Problem with black folk is once doors open to shop other places,
They go.
they go. Instead of supporting home
Absolutely.
and then traveling to go get something
Absolutely.
there, they
Absolutely.
left
Completely.
because that was greater than
Well, I go to a city every Saturday, and I've watched slowly but surely as the box stores outside the city have drawn the people from the city, and you see business after business, small business struggling, some going out of business.
Yep.
You know, because we have a now. I want to be fair. A lot of the urban businesses, the prices are very high,
Sure.
but they have to be because they don't have the volume. But also, in some places, the service is not what it should be. You know, so and the conditions of the place where you shop not like it should be.
Yeah.
So there are some factors, but the remaining factor is that the big stores, part of their agenda is set up 20 miles out of town, 10 miles out of town, 5 miles out of town, and wipe out the competition in the city.
Yeah.
That's the agenda.
That's the agenda.
Yeah.
And they do it all the time.
Oh yeah.
But those small businesses, when it was like everybody together,
Mhm.
I mean, you got doctors right there, lawyer in the community, dry clean. I mean, everything was.
Yeah. And I think also,
So we had to stick together.
but they
for this to
weren't
work
attracting a lot of attention because it was an underestimation of the revenue that could be produced.
Yes. I'm talking about back then, not now. But
Back then,
yeah,
there was an underestimation.
They were bringing in.
They were off in a corner.
Yep.
You know that it's not that big a deal. It's over there.
Yep.
And so they
Joker
didn't.
was
They
making
but
some
when they
money.
realized that the millions that were being made,
Yep.
we got to stop this.
And they came in there and burned it up. So I did find out. So Green Dot, they work in prepaid cards.
Okay.
Yeah.
So prepaid card, they make money off. The banks make money off deposits. So somehow
Right.
there's some fee in there. So
But what did COVID have to do with it?
well, when the money came into the bank,
Yeah.
the people use prepaid cards to get the money out of the bank.
Okay.
So the bank is making money off of.
Yeah, all the time. There's a spread.
So of course, after
There's-
it was
there's-
over, I'm assuming here. I don't.
There's
you know.
3 or 4 point spread there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they might have made some money and then told
Okay.
everybody.
What it cost them to do it and what they were charging, that's where the profit was made. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Well,
Rob.
thank you for answering. I always wanted to ask that question. But
Yeah.
y'all have a blessed day.
You
I'm
too
done.
now. Talk to you now.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. We're going to Danny. Hey, Danny, how you doing? Danny.
Good morning, Bishop. How you doing?
Hey, man, how you?
All right, Pastor Nick. How's everyone
man.
doing?
What's going down, man? What's happening in
Okay.
Florida?
Very
Tom
good
Tom
program.
gave
Very
us Tom
good
gave us Tom gave us his report. Now you can give us yours.
And tell you some things that's been going on down here. And the main point is that you talk about the water situation,
Mhm.
but it's not just Mississippi. It's not just Michigan. It's a national program.
What?
By that, what I mean, if you investigate and you look and see what's happening across the nation
Mhm.
in the inner cities and what have you, the infrastructure is terrible.
Okay.
It's outdated.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Okay? From the very beginning, they knew that these systems need to be replaced and what have you. Give an example of what's happening here in Florida. If you look at, let's take Fort Lauderdale or Miami.
Yeah.
Downtown Miami, downtown Fort Lauderdale. What they're doing is that they're revitalizing or they're redoing the inner city.
Okay.
And what's happening is that the pipes that they have were the early 1900s that they built this system.
Okay.
Now they're bursting, and we're getting flooding and what have you. It's a problem. And what the way that they can reclaim the land is they say we need to go ahead and change everything, and we'll go ahead and get the land back.
Yeah.
And what happens? People are getting frustrated. They want to sell. They want to get out. That's the way of moving the people out, so they get the land for a little bit of nothing,
I hear you.
which is terrible. A terrible system.
Some
Okay?
people think that
what's
these is
happening
made
down
up.
Here is that we're losing a lot of people
Okay.
from the inner cities. They're going to the outside or into the suburbs, and they're paying the high prices again, while the people are moving back to the inner city with the new infrastructure that they got for cheap. We're paying the high price. They're paying the low price to come back inside of the
Gentrified.
city to reclaim it.
Yeah.
For nothing.
Yeah, gentrified.
And then something that you, Pastor Nick, said that we had to go ahead, pay attention to your local authorities, your local politicians. Stop focusing on the national scene. Deal with those that are in the local politicians, because we have the same thing what happens in Mississippi. The governor comes down, he makes a speech. You see people that do not look like us that are backing him.
Okay.
He's speaking to people that do not look like us. But yet, when it comes time to vote, he'll run these commercials and what have you, and you will see nobody that looks like us.
Okay.
He doesn't care, because he knows that he's going to get the votes from Miami, which will not be Democratic votes. I hate to make it political, but it is political. I have to look at it and see it for what it is. And what we need like Jesus did. He had to touch sometimes 3 times for us to go ahead and see. We need to open our eyes and see what's happening.
I think a lot of people, Danny, think that these complaints about the difference in treatment between urban centers and suburban neighborhoods is kind of fabricated. But one of the things that I think, if you take notice, I don't ever recall a highway or a bypass being built through the middle of a suburb. They split cities, they split urban communities with major highways. And it happened all over the nation. So all of a sudden you've got this disconnect because you got a 4 or 6-lane highway suddenly running through a neighborhood. And they wonder why that split, the conditions that it sets, the environment that it sets for crime and all the other stuff that goes on. But they don't split neighborhoods except urban neighborhoods with highways. They don't do it.
Right.
But the other thing is, I don't think that the people in the urban neighborhood have enough clout to get them to do it. Now, you know, in our context, I remember years ago, they wanted to put one of these cell phone towers up, you know, in the neighborhood. And everybody knows you don't need that kind of radiation over your head all the time. And, you know, it took the neighbors, who were majority Caucasian, to get together, hire an attorney, send the money over to the court, and then start bombarding the mayor's office with, we don't want another tower out here. That's what stopped it. But the problem was they had already approved it. But most people think because they've approved it, they can't withdraw the approval. They can if they get enough heat.
From the right people.
That's right, from the right people. Yeah. How's my sister doing, Dan?
Blessed and highly favored.
I can't wait to talk to her. I can't wait to talk to her.
Hey, we thank you all for keeping everything in the focus on point.
Yeah,
and it really motivates us. Thank you very much. We really appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Tell her I said hey.
We'll do. We'll do.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
God bless.
Can you share something real quick?
Go ahead, man.
So about Mississippi.
Yeah.
So Jackson, they had a flight of people
Okay.
going in the urban area, suburban area.
Suburban. They left town.
Mainly white, of course. So they have about fewer than 150,000 people in there. 83% are black. That doesn't include Hispanic and extra.
Okay.
It's going to cost $2 billion to fix the water and sewer system. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The mayor of Jackson met with the state legislator before about getting infrastructure fixed.
Okay.
Now, this is what he's reporting.
Okay.
The lieutenant governor said, we need our airport back because the biggest airport in Mississippi is in Jackson. And the city runs
We
the
need it
airport,
back?
not the state.
We need it back.
He said, Mayor, I need you to give me my airport. And I look at it for about $30 million. He wanted to, now, Jackson, the biggest airport in Mississippi is in Jackson.
Right.
The city runs it.
Right.
The state wants it. The state has been trying to get the airport.
So they won't give them anything else?
That it looks like because they want the airport and y'all not giving it to us.
We're going to let the water go bad and kill the people and everything else.
Because they tried to set up a board and then a judge came in and said, no, the state can't have the airport. It's been in the hands of the city and the people.
that same governor would tell you he cares about all his citizens in the state.
Yeah. Yep.
What does an airport have to do with water?
Yes.
In most people's minds, nothing.
No.
But in some politicians' minds, I'm not fixing that water until you give me what I want.
Yes.
But then, don't they control the jobs and everything if the state takes it away?
Yes. Yep.
That's too much power.
Too much power. And 30 now, I mean, I don't know how much an airport costs, but $30 million seems like an extreme low ball.
$30 million is what you pay for part of the ground you would need
Right.
for the airport. I had a friend who's deceased,
Yeah.
who owns some very valuable property in a southern state. And when he passed away, his estate was paid something like $52 million for that land, for just where another runway could go in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So $32 million is like for a runway.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you want to hold the biggest airport.
You want the
in
whole
state-
airport?
in the
No.
States, you-
No.
It's always over some property.
Yes, sir.
Some money. I tell you, boy.
Let's go to Keisha. Hi, Keisha. How you doing?
Hey, Bishop. Hey, Dr. Nick.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
What I wanted to tell you was, you remember when I was telling you about my son?
Mm-hmm.
And so one day I had took the kids to where I used to volunteer at, and they have like soup kitchen every Saturdays.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I was walking, and I wasn't paying no attention. I was walking, and I was on my way home. All of a sudden, somebody calling my name. I'm like, wait a minute, who is calling my name? I don't see nobody. I said, I know it ain't no ghost out here. Bitch, I turned around, and it was my son.
Yeah, you told us.
10 months.
You told us, Keish.
Yeah, and I saw he was crying because he was worried because I haven't heard from him.
Okay.
And I told him I've been calling him and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I said, ooh, I feel so much better. But one more thing, I need your prayers because two of my best friends,
Yeah.
the husband and the wife, they just renewed
Renewed their vows?
their wedding vows.
Yeah.
And 2 Sundays ago, I looked on Facebook, and she was gone.
She had died?
Yeah.
Oh, my.
They had just renewed their wedding vows over again.
Mm-hmm.
And so her name is Tanya Holmes Staggers.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wait a minute, I just seen her because she was going through so much in her body, and they had to amputate her hand and her arm.
Okay.
And I'm like, wait a minute, I just talked to this girl. It was like last year in Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked, I'm like, oh my God. I'm just asking you to keep the family in prayer and
Okay.
everything because they're going through so much.
I hear you, girl.
And I mean, it's horrible.
It was good talking to you, Keisha.
Yeah, you too, Bishop. I just wanted to let you know that.
All right. I appreciate you keeping me
Okay.
updated. All right,
Yeah.
talk to you now.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So, Pastor Nick, give me let's talk sports for a minute. I see Serena, she lost last night. I understand it was a good match.
Yeah, she did good for other matches too.
Yeah, and she beat the first girl, and
Yeah.
she came back. I thought she was giving a farewell speech after the first victory that she had, but she had some more people to play.
Yeah.
And the girl last night beat her, but they said it was tough.
Yeah, I don't think they expected her to beat the first girl, who was the number 2 in the country. In
Yeah,
the
she
world,
got
excuse
her.
me.
She got her.
Yeah, she.
I think now
I mean,
this is just
she's
me.
40.
At her age,
Yeah.
to come right back and have another intense match,
Yeah.
probably was tapping into, do I really want to do this? And the other thing is that the girls are catching up with her now.
Yeah.
They're catching up with her, and they're not afraid of her. But they're not afraid of her now.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. She was when she was in her early 20s and early
30s.
30s.
Yeah, but she's doing this. Is this going to be a last match now? Because I heard
I think she's
her
done.
and Venus lost too.
Okay. Well, because they're
They
doubles,
played the
yeah.
doubles. They lost the other night too.
Yeah. I mean, she's saying she's retiring, but I mean, she's gonna go out as the greatest tennis player.
Yeah.
I mean, it just
But you know who they owe the large salaries to?
to Venus, right?
Serena.
I thought Venus.
It's
was
Venus.
Yeah.
Yep, Venus.
Yeah.
She's the one who went against Wimbledon and said, "Oh no, we're not going to do this anymore."
Yep.
And the purses became
Yeah. Bigger.
bigger and bigger and bigger
Yeah.
for the ladies.
All of it. I mean,
Everybody benefited from it. She
Yeah.
just said, "No, we're not doing it."
the contracts with the sneaker companies and all them.
And Venus was in a position at that point because she was probably the number 1 player in the world. So
Yep.
when she said, "No, I'm not playing," they were like, "Wait a minute."
Yep.
But
Yeah.
she was a pioneer. A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, but I mean, people they
Like Tiger Woods did with the golfing salaries.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But well, I mean, she may come back and try something else. But I mean, you can just at that age, at 40, and you running
There's
around all that time,
nothing to do.
She
needs
ain't
to
got
stop.
nothing to prove.
She needs to stop.
There's nothing else for her to prove.
Yeah, she can stop. She can legitimately stop.
Yeah.
And everybody was at the match.
Yeah, Tiger and them.
I looked around. Gladys Knight was sitting up there. Dionne Warwick was in there, man.
They were all just.
Commentators had to get it right. They called Dionne Gladys.
Right, right.
That's what you gonna do. Now, Deshaun Watson. First, I heard it was 6 games.
It was 6 originally.
Okay, then they moved it up to 11.
Yes.
And that's because of allegations.
Here's my thing.
Okay.
Here's my thing. If you have to have a judge tell you can only have 1 or 2 people give you a massage, and you need somebody in the room with you while the massage is going on,
You got a problem.
something's wrong.
Yeah.
Then come to find out when he's in Texas, the Texans had a system for him, funneling women to him to get these massages.
The football player? I mean, the team?
Yes, the team was bringing women to him for these massages at like this certain place that they would do.
Come on.
So
they were supporting his behavior.
yes,
Okay.
and then when he stopped playing for them, I believe somebody from them let the cat out the bag and say, "Look, this is what's been going on with him." But they didn't, of course, didn't say their part. But through investigation, they found out the text. Anyway, my premise is this: with the NFL, you can smoke weed, get suspended for 6 games to a year.
Right.
You gamble on a game, you're suspended for a year or some change.
Okay.
You beat a woman up, you kill somebody, 2 games, 3 games at the most. I mean, I'm not saying that we shouldn't have rules for everything.
There's no consistency.
But that's the issue I have.
Yeah, it's no consistency.
You got 20 some odd women saying the same thing. I'm just saying. Warren Sapp said, I've never heard a player have this many massage therapists. They always stick to 1 or 2 or 3.
That's all.
That you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
You got 20 plus.
Money makes the world go round. Who determines what?
Yeah. And he got the biggest contract in
Unbelievable.
in NFL history.
Yeah.
$230 million guaranteed.
Wow.
The whole thing is guaranteed. In the middle of an accusation.
What I don't understand. Okay, maybe I can't say that. Let's go to Tanya. We'll pick it up.
right.
We'll pick this up next week because I need to talk about this. Tanya, how you doing?
Hey, how are you,
Hello.
Bishop?
All right,
how
fine.
Are you, Pastor Nick? How are you?
Welcome to On Point.
Yes, good morning. I just wanted to make a comment in reference
Be quick
to
now. Be quick.
Danny a little while ago.
Okay.
Danny a little while ago was talking about how the water is a national problem.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're aware that I actually live in Willingboro. Willingboro is having that same water problem.
Really?
Oh, yes.
I know Camden had its issues.
Willingboro, they discovered almost a year and a half ago, and they never told us about it.
Discovered what?
We have PFAS in our water.
What is that?
PFAS.
What is that?
It's a chemical agent that's used in industrial plants.
Okay.
Actually, the fire department uses it too when they're cleaning
okay,
their
I see.
equipment and things like that.
Okay.
And so we haven't been able to drink the water. So what they did was, trying to think that they could fix it, was to shut down one of our water towers.
Okay.
And the sad part about it was that they waited over a year to tell us about it. So
people were still drinking the water?
No, we they won't tell us word for word because it's a legal issue now that we don't drink the water,
It's a
but they
class
tell
action
us we
case,
can't
yeah.
boil it.
Okay.
My niece is a chemist. She already said, well, Auntie, you can shower in it, but I would not ever drink it. It's one of the worst agents to try and get out of water.
Really?
So we, Sister Eva and I won't even go to Wawa and buy a cup of coffee because we're
Yeah, because they're getting the water. Yeah, yeah.
PFAS.
So we've been buying water now for about a year, but
I'd be cautious to shower in it.
yeah, I've never had problems with dry skin like I've had lately.
Well, I mean, it's because skin is so absorbent. I mean, it absorbs
Yeah.
everything.
Yes. But you and Pastor Nick were talking about it earlier, that
Yeah.
in this country that we're so rich why do
We're
we
gonna-
have
we're-
problems with water?
We're going to do a little research on that because it's this local water problem. And if you can call us back next week and give us some more insight, I'd really appreciate it.
Sure, I will.
All right, thank you for calling us today.
You too. Have a
Bye-bye
good
now.
day.
Bye-bye. We're coming up on the end of another great program. We want you to join us tomorrow at 8 a.m. for our virtual service and 11 a.m. for our outdoor service here on our campus. You don't want to miss it. We're in an exciting series entitled Rhythm. You don't want to miss it at all. So 8 a.m. tomorrow virtually, please watch. 11 a.m. Now, for those of you who watch us virtually, you need to watch us again. If you're not in the area, watch us again at 11 o'clock because we stream that also. But for those of you who are local, you watch the 8 and you come and you'll see how the two things are tying together. If you have a prayer request, always email it to us. Email it to social@go2bethany.com. That's social@go2bethany.com. We're always inviting you to subscribe to David G. Evans 1 and the BBC of NJ on YouTube. If you want to watch us there all the time, tell your friends. Also subscribe to DGEMS, DGEMS, and OnPointe. Those are our podcast platforms. Reverend Nicholas Smith, you got anything else, Nick?
Nope, that's it.
I'm Bishop David Evans. Faith acts like a thing is so, even when it's not so, that it might be so. God bless you. See you next time on OnPointe.